Hello everybody and welcome back. It is me, your old pal Orpheus, with another adventure here on Orpheus Plays. We're playing Blade and Sorcery today on the PC, and we are here playing the dungeon. Yes, the procedurally generated dungeon. That is very cool. I hope you're doing well today, wherever you are. Whether it's day or night, or you're about to tell a story about how you got visited by Jesus. No, I'm not kidding. We'll get to that in just a second. But first, let's get things started. I've got my wrist blades. I'm ready to go. They don't see me yet. And we're going to do the first traditional slow motion kill of the day. Oh, she's going in there. Perfect timing. Let's do this. Hi. Wow. Just cartwheeling off into oblivion. And with that out of the way, let's get things going. Oh, wow. Whew, that was an epic one. Anyway, let's start things off here. So, yeah, like I said, the story I want to tell you today is an interesting one. We had a new neighbor move in about 8 months ago or so, but when she first moved in, she was very much a pain in the butt. And I'll tell you why. And it's because she was one of those neighbors that immediately moved in and decided that this was her apartment complex. And so she started putting, like, curtains up in the laundry room and, like, little fairy lights here and there. We did not expect that. Little fairy lights here and there. How about right there on the altar? Oh, sacrifice accepted. And she, like, would put up little things all around on the grounds, like, oh, don't let your dog poop here, and stuff like that, and like little amenities that make this place totally feel like it is a retirement community instead of an apartment complex full of a bunch of people who are not of retirement age. Hold on a second. Let's give him a little head here. And one more for you from Magic. Oh. Okay, I'm kidding. One more. Is he dead yet? Yes. Yes, he is. Very much so. Anyway, so this woman just had this absolute need to clean things, and she's going around and doing all this weeding and everything, even though landlords take care of that stuff. She's doing all sorts of stuff around the grounds. She's like picking up after people's poop, and she's taking up taking the garbage cans out and bringing them back in, which you're like, wow, that's really nice. Well, it's kind of annoying because you may not be done putting stuff into your garbage when she decides it's time for the garbage to go out. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, not really considerate. She never actually talked about it, like, hey, do you want me to take the garbage out? It was just like, I'm going to do this now because I like the way, I like this place to be ultra clean, which, again, nothing wrong with that, but there's a difference between clean and obsessive. I have a theory, though. I think she's an addict of some sort. Allegedly. Now, let's not get anybody into trouble here. But as someone that has been around a lot of people who have had addictions, and I've slightly researched it over the years. Oh, right in the back of skull. Oh no, down the hole. That guy go down the hole. Ooh, ninja. Come on down here. Fight me down here, Denzian. No? Okay. Well, he might sneak up on me later. It's rather dark in here. Holy crap. So, she decided this was her little place. And as soon as she met us, she came over and introduced herself. The first day she was here. And she's like, hi, I'm let's say that her name is Sarah. She's like, hi, I'm Sarah. I'm your new neighbor. And she's like, I'm going to be, up in whatever apartment here. And it's really nice to meet you. And she looks, and she's got all these, necklaces on, right? It's really hard to explain. She's, Benny in The Mummy, right? Benny's the Weasley one. He has all these necklaces and stuff on to, in case the bad guy is one thing or another, he can, show that necklace, I'm actually Aramaic, or I'm Jewish, or I'm Christian, or I'm Buddhist, or whatever. This woman had one of those necklaces, and it was just covered in those little, trinkets and stuff. Every single religion you can think of. And I'm like, oh, that's an interesting necklace. She's like, yeah, I'm really all about religion and spirituality and faith. Again, nothing wrong with that, right? But okay, you'll hear in a second. Okay. So everything kind of was going weird. She had what she called a service dog, right? When she moved in, she called it a service dog. And I know I'll say she called it a service dog because there's no way that it was a service dog. I talked about this in another video. It like loses its mind. It barks and jumps on you. It constantly barks out back of our house right here whenever anything moves by her apartment. It's really frustrating. And so one day, it's a rather blustery day. It's a rather blustery day here in Townville where I live, and ooh, right in the base of the brain there, got him zombie style. But so it's a nice blustery day one day, and I'm looking and I hear a little bumping outside. Ooh, she's spurging out. All right, I hear a little bumping outside, like a little bit of movement out there, and I've got security cameras all over the place. Because it's part of my PTSD. It's something called hypervigilance. I have to know everything that's going on around me all the time. Jeez, it is so dark in here. What is going on? Anyway, so it's a little blustery day going on. Ooh, I didn't even get him. Hi! And I hear this stuff going on outside. And so I check the cameras on the front door. And I see a picture of Jesus. It's like, a good 2 feet tall by like, a 1.5 feet wide. It's like one of those big ones you see at like a swap meet. It's that creepy Jesus with the, he's holding a lamb and he's holding up his hand like this. And he's got a lamb right here. And it's like all soft and like someone put Vaseline on the lens when they took the picture kind of thing. It's not a picture, it's a painting. But this thing is sitting on the table right next to our front door. And I'm like, what the heck is this, right? So I back up the footage and I look at it. And our new neighbor, about 3 minutes before I checked, easy. I just killed you, that's all. Just calm down. Anyway, so I see her on the security camera. She comes walking around the front, the side of our building, and has this, jeez, it is dark. Where am I supposed to go? Oh my God, I'm sorry, folks, for this one. This is the dark cast here. Wow. So I see her come around the corner, and I see she's holding this picture of Jesus, and she puts it there on the table. So it's like facing our door. So oh my God, what is going on? Whoa, no, you guys come back here so we can all see you. Let's do this. Huh? How about that? You like that? Oh no! Whoa! Frame rate, take a dump. Wow. All right, let's do it this way. So as soon as we walked, if we were to walk out the door, the first thing we would see is, Jesus. Hold on. Do I even have a torch? Do I have a torch? I do not. Well, that's cool. Anyway, so this big creepy Jesus is right there at the door, and I turn to my wife and I'm like, I don't want to do it. I don't want to go touch this thing, right? Why is it so dark? I'm lost. There's no torches or anything. Nope. Yeah, there we go. Can I just light it up in here? Anyway, so I'm looking at the camera. I look at my wife and I'm like, Jesus is outside. And she's like, what? And I showed her the security camera. She's like, oh my God, what the heck is that? And I said, yeah, let me show you. I show her the security footage, and she's like, "Oh my God, it's our new neighbors." Yeah. So as we're watching, like the moment that we start looking at it together, a big, huge wind comes flying, just gusting out, like, right, and picks up that painting of Jesus and smashes it against our front door. Just absolutely obliterates it, like. Boom, it goes up against our door, the frame cracks and like bent in half and the canvas ripped and everything. It's like, guess what? God didn't want you putting that there. So, yeah, that was interesting. I took it back. I picked up the pieces of it and I went and took it to the little common area, which she had at this point and still to this day has a bunch of Bibles everywhere, which, if you're a religious person, right? And I am. I'm a spiritual person, right? But if you're religious, I got no problem with that, right? What I have a problem with is shoving it down everybody else's throat. Like, we can't go back to our car, like in our carport. We can't go back there without seeing books like what is it? God and Sex, right? It's apparently a guide about. Well, I don't even want to think about what it's about, you know. But it's like. She's got things out like that. She's got, like religious magazines and everything. And it's like, look, she put her own couch and stuff down in the common area. So it's like her common area now. And like, she's got a little table here and a little table there. And she's got Bibles everywhere. She's got like 3 Bibles out there. And maybe you're thinking, oh, maybe there's Bible study that she holds there. And I go, okay, but... Don't you? I mean, I haven't been to a Bible study in a long time, right? And I'm not Christian, but, like, aren't you supposed to, like, bring your own Bibles to one of those if it's you and a bunch of people getting together? Right? Like, normally isn't that how it goes? I don't know. But, like, all these Bibles, all this weirdness going on, she goes around and she, like, picks up little bits of trash on the property, right? So when I was in the Navy and we had like punishment detail or something, right? Did something particularly crappy. And so we had to pick up trash on the base, on the recruit training base, right? Great Lakes, or as they call it, Great Mistakes. You missed. But we had to go out and like pick up trash on the base, and wow, she did a no look. That's cool. No scope. But one of the things that we weren't supposed to pick up was cigarette butts, and I remember this very clearly. The petty officer would tell us, you pick up everything except for the cigarette butts, and I don't remember why. There was a specific reason why. Maybe one of you will leave it in the comment below. But that was the thing that reminded me of what this woman does, because she goes around and picks up everything. We're on a main street, right? We are on a main street, and so lots of cars going by all the time. And if you've ever walked down the sidewalk next to a main street, you know there's an enormous amount of crap that goes on that like comes out of cars and off of cars and from people walking by and the wind blowing stuff and oh, how do you still make that noise with no head? Whatever. Okay. So she goes around and picks up the cigarette butts that people throw out the cars, and she goes around and picks up little bits of garbage and stuff. Now here's the part where you're like, well, she's just trying to keep the property nice. This is on the public part. This is out by the sidewalk and past the sidewalk, right? So she's picking up trash in public. And by the way, again, if you're like, well, maybe she isn't cognizant about the environment. Yeah, well, here's the thing. The city comes around and cleans that stuff up like at least once a month, right? So it gets hoovered up by the city. And so she's literally wasting her own time. Now, this is part of why I think that she's an addict, is because there's this behavior that takes place when you're an addict, especially of things that are stimulants, right? But you just have to do stuff all the time, right? It's worse than being manic or needing to do something like, being constructive. This is like you dig a hole in the front yard and you just keep digging it because you need something to do, right? or you repaint the house not because it needs it, but because you need something to do. Anyway, she's a lot like that. And that is the story of how Jesus visited my wife and I at our apartment and then promptly was smashed against our front door for some reason. Maybe God didn't like the cheesy picture. Anyway, we are in our cavern of success. We have successfully traversed the dungeon, and I hope you continue to do well today and the rest of your day and the rest of your week and month and on to, Anyway, treat yourself well because you deserve it. We'll see you on the next one here on Orpheus Plays. Bye!